I hadn't been back to my hometown in years, the kind of place where everyone knows your name and your business. It was small, familiar, frozen in time, the scent of pine trees, the faded Main Street signs, the rusted old swing set by the lake, all still exactly where I left them. We came back for a wedding, my wife and I, and it wasn't just any wedding. It was the wedding of her, the girl next door. Let's call her Emily. I knew Emily and her brother Ryan since they were kids. Sweet, playful, tight-knit, always laughing, always pulling little pranks on each other. Water balloons, fake spiders, short-sheeted beds, to kind of sibling rivalry that made you smile. But something changed when they got to high school. That innocent playfulness, it turned bitter, competitive, almost cruel, especially on her end. I watched it happen, slowly, quietly. Emily's jokes stopped being funny. She embarrassed Ryan in front of his friends. She stole his homework and replaced it with fake answers. One time she even put red dye in his gym shorts before a big basketball game. He got benched and mocked for weeks. And while Ryan would grit his teeth, laugh it off, maybe plot a harmless comeback, Emily never let up. But the worst was prom night. Ryan had been excited for weeks. He'd saved up to rent a tux. He'd finally asked his crush to go with him. Everything was lined up, and then Emily struck. She snuck into his bathroom the night before and replaced his shampoo with hair removal cream. I'll never forget the way his father told me the next morning. Ryan woke up screaming. He said clumps of his hair were all over the floor. He had bald patches, looked like he was going through chemo. There was no saving it. He had to shave his whole head. And with no time to cancel, he went to prom completely bald. He stood there, smiling awkwardly for pictures, while whispers and laughs swirled around him. His date tried to be kind, but even she couldn't hide her shock. Emily, she was gleeful, bragging, proud of her masterpiece. Ryan never retaliated. Not then, not for years, but I could see it in his eyes. Something shifted that night. I'd kept in touch with Ryan. He finished college, got a solid job in cybersecurity, bought a little place near his parents. Calm, stable, grounded. Emily had moved on, too engaged to some corporate finance guy. Planning the perfect wedding, of course. It was all over social media. Handwritten invitations, $20,000 dress, floral arrangements that looked like a royal garden. Then we got the invite. My wife and I were excited. An adult night out. Old friends, free food, and nostalgia. My brother offered to watch the kids up. At the lake cabin, everything was set. Then, came the text. It came from Emily's dad. Hey, just a heads up, ceremony's off, but the reception's still on. Come hungry. Should still be a good time. Wait, what? We were stunned. No ceremony, no explanation, just a party. But we went anyway. Curiosity, free champagne, and the pull of small-town gossip, and what a story we walked into. The venue was still set up like a wedding. Rose petals on the aisle, a massive cake, a full band. Even the dance floor lights were twinkling. But no bride, no groom, no wedding. Just confused guests. And one very, very smug-looking Ryan. I found him at the bar, sipping whiskey, looking extremely pleased with himself. Want the real story? He said. You remember prom night? And then, it all came out. Ryan had waited nearly a decade for the perfect moment. No half-baked prank, no rushed comeback. He wanted her to feel the same humiliation, the same shock, the same helplessness. He had one rule: it had to be poetic. It had to mirror what she did to him. And what better time than the day she'd built her entire identity around, the day everyone would be watching her, admiring her, photographing her. So, the night before the wedding, while Emily was at her parents' house getting pampered, hair wrapped in a towel after a spa treatment, Ryan made his move. He swapped her expensive salon shampoo with a bottle of the exact same brand hair removal cream she used on him in high school. The next morning, Emily woke up screaming, her hair, those perfect golden locks she'd paid thousands to style, was falling out in sheets. No extensions could cover it. No hat could save her. No wig looked natural enough for the hundreds of wedding guests. She locked herself in her childhood bedroom, sobbing and screaming, refusing to come out. Her fiancé begged her to push through. Her parents offered professional emergency stylists. Nothing worked. In the end, she canceled the ceremony entirely. But the food was paid for. The band was ready. Guests had traveled cross-country. So they threw the party anyway. Without her, Ryan didn't gloat. He didn't toast or brag in front of everyone. But word spread fast. People knew. Some were shocked. Others whispered with that secret satisfaction people get when karma shows up in a tuxedo. Emily's parents were furious at both of them. But her dad, he pulled me aside and said quietly, I'm mad at him. But she had it coming. You never forget what someone does to you at that age. I asked Ryan, later that night, if he felt better. He looked down at his drink, gave the faintest smile, and said, I didn't do it to ruin her life. Just to remind her what she did to mine. Then he raised his glass, nodded toward the dance floor where people were laughing and dancing like nothing happened, and said, and now, I can finally let it go. Revenge doesn't always have to be explosive. Sometimes, the quietest acts echo the loudest. Sometimes, justice takes years. But when it comes served, ice cold, it leaves a taste no one forgets. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and tell us in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen or imagined? And don't forget to subscribe. We've got more real-life justice stories that will leave you stunned, cheering, and maybe even a little inspired.